Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, and with me, as always, is the amazing Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited you're here today because we're talking about something every English learner struggles with.
Exactly. You study English for months, sometimes years, but when it's time to speak, suddenly your mind goes blank. You know the words, you know the grammar, but speaking, that feels impossible.
Yes, and today we're going to solve that problem. We'll show you how to stop just studying and start actually speaking English. And don't worry, it's easier than you think.
By the end of this episode, you'll have simple steps you can start today to speak English confidently. So, grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's get started. This hook does three things. Immediately relates to the listener's frustration, introduces the episode topic clearly, creates excitement and engagement for the next sections. So, Julia, why do you think so many learners spend years studying English but still can't speak it?
Well, Jason, most learners focus only on grammar rules, vocabulary lists, and memorizing sentences. They study a lot, but they rarely practice speaking.
Exactly. It's like learning to drive a car by only reading the manual. You know all the rules, but when you sit behind the wheel, it feels completely different.
Yes, and another reason is fear. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes. They think, if I speak wrong, people will laugh at me. So they wait and wait until they feel ready.
Which is the problem? There's no perfect moment to start speaking. If you wait until you know everything, you'll never speak.
And here's something learners don't realize. Speaking English is a skill, not knowledge. You can know thousands of words, but if you don't practice forming sentences and talking, fluency will stay far away.
So the key is simple. Stop overstudying and start speaking. Even with small sentences, even with mistakes. Speaking is what creates real fluency.
Yes, and in the next part, we're going to talk about the biggest myth that holds learners back. The idea that you need to study more before speaking.
All right, Julia, let's talk about a myth that almost every English learner believes.
Oh yes, I know this one. I need to study more before I can speak English.
Exactly. Learners think they must know perfect grammar, thousands of words, and flawless pronunciation before they can even say a sentence. But that's not true.
Right. The truth is, you can start speaking with what you already know. Even short sentences, even simple words, it's enough to communicate.
Think about it like this. If someone traveled to your country but only spoke a few words of your language, could you still understand them?
Of course, you would try to understand, maybe guess the meaning, and you'd still have a conversation. That's exactly what English learners need to do. Start speaking even with limited words.
And here's the important part. Every time you speak, your brain learns. Your confidence grows. Your sentences get smoother. The more you speak, the faster you improve.
So the myth is holding people back. Stop waiting for perfection. Start speaking today, even if it's small, even if it's simple. That's how real fluency begins.
And next, we'll explain why speaking is really a skill, not just knowledge. That's a game changer for learners. Julia, we just talked about the myth of needing to study more. Now let's explain something really important. Speaking is a skill, not knowledge.
That's right, Jason. Many learners think, if I know enough words and grammar, I'll automatically speak English. But speaking is different from knowing English. It's something you do, not something you just memorize.
Exactly. Think about swimming. You can read all the books about swimming, learn the strokes, and watch videos. But until you actually get into the water and practice, you won't be able to swim.
Yes, and it's the same with English. You can study grammar for years, memorize thousands of words, but if you don't practice speaking, your fluency won't improve.
And here's the exciting part. The more you speak, the more automatic it becomes. At first, forming sentences might feel hard, but after regular practice, your brain starts thinking in English naturally.
That's why learners should treat speaking like a skill, something to practice every day, not just study in theory. Even 5 to 10 minutes of speaking daily is better than hours of studying grammar.
So remember, knowledge helps, but skill comes from action. The key to fluency is speaking, not just studying. And next, we'll cover the common mistakes that slow learners down when they try to speak. All right, Julia, now that we know speaking is a skill, let's talk about some mistakes learners make that slow them down.
Absolutely, Jason. The first big mistake is trying to translate from their native language word by word. That makes sentences sound unnatural and slows down thinking.
Exactly. For example, someone might say, "I very like this," because they translate directly. But in English, we say, "I really like this." Small mistakes like this can make learners lose confidence.
And another mistake is trying to speak in long, perfect sentences. Learners feel they must use advanced grammar and big words, so they stay silent instead of speaking.
Yes, it's better to speak short, simple sentences than to say nothing at all. Communication is more important than perfection.
Another common mistake is comparing yourself to fluent speakers. You think, I'm not as good as them, so why even try? But fluency comes step by step, not overnight.
So the secret is simple. Accept mistakes, speak in small sentences, and focus on communication. Every small conversation is practice for fluency.
And in the next part, we'll talk about how to shift your mindset from being a student to being a confident speaker. That's where real progress starts.
Julia, we've talked about mistakes and myths, but I think the most important step is changing your mindset from a student to a speaker.
Yes, Jason. Many learners think, I need to be perfect to speak. That's the student mindset. They focus on exams, grammar, and memorization instead of actual communication.
Exactly. But a speaker's mindset is different. A speaker thinks, I just want to communicate, to express my ideas. Fluency doesn't come from studying alone. It comes from using English every day.
And the good news is, you don't need perfect grammar or a big vocabulary to start. Even simple words and short sentences are enough to begin speaking confidently.
It's also about embracing mistakes. A speaker knows that errors are part of the learning process. Each mistake is practice. Each conversation builds confidence.
So the key shift is this: stop aiming for perfection and start aiming for communication. Speak, make mistakes, and improve naturally over time.
And in the next part, we'll share practical methods you can use today to start speaking immediately, even if you're a beginner. All right, Julia, now it's time for some practical tips. The first method is simple. Speak with what you already know.
That's so important, Jason. Many learners think they need advanced words or perfect sentences to speak. But even with a small vocabulary, you can communicate effectively.
For example, if you know the words I, like, and music, you can already say, I like music. You don't need a long, complicated sentence to start speaking.
Yes, and you can expand slowly. After I like music, you can add I like music very much, or I like listening to music every day. Start small and build naturally.
Exactly. The key is to use what you know every day in real situations. Don't wait for new words. Just start speaking with what you already have.
And remember, making small sentences is better than staying silent. Each sentence you speak trains your brain and improves your confidence.
So listeners, take a look at your current English. What simple sentences can you make today? Start there, and your speaking will grow faster than studying for months without practice. Julia, the second practical method is all about daily speaking habits. Small, consistent practice every day can make a huge difference.
That's right, Jason. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of speaking every day is better than studying grammar for hours without speaking.
And there are many ways to practice daily. You can talk to yourself in English, describe what you're doing, or even talk to a friend or a language partner.
Yes, another great way is to speak in front of a mirror. It might feel strange at first, but it helps you get used to forming sentences and hearing your own voice in English.
And don't forget recording your voice. You can listen later, notice small mistakes, and improve gradually. It's a safe way to practice without fear of judgment.
The key is consistency. Even a few minutes every day will train your brain to think in English and improve your speaking naturally.
So, listeners, pick one daily habit today. Speak for a few minutes, repeat sentences, and slowly, you'll notice real improvement in your fluency. All right, Julia, now it's time for a mini practice conversation. Let's show our listeners how simple English can be used naturally.
Great idea, Jason. I'll start. Hi, Jason. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well. Did you eat breakfast this morning?
Yes, I had some bread and eggs. And you?
I had cereal and milk. It was quick but tasty.
That sounds good. What are you going to do today?
I'm going to read an English book and practice speaking a little. What about you?
I'm going to record a short English podcast and then speak with a friend in English. Little by little, that's how we improve.
Exactly. See, listeners, we are using simple words and short sentences. Even with this small conversation, we're practicing speaking and thinking in English.
Yes, so you can do the same. Start with short, simple conversations like this. Every small conversation is a step closer to fluency. Julia, one big challenge for learners is fear. Many feel nervous or shy when speaking English.
Yes, Jason. They worry about making mistakes or being judged. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language.
Exactly! Mistakes are actually good. They help your brain learn and improve. The more you speak, the faster you get better.
One tip is to start speaking in a safe space. Talk to yourself, use a mirror, or record your voice. No one is judging you, and it builds confidence gradually.
And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's communication. Even short, simple sentences count. Focus on expressing your ideas, not on being perfect.
Yes, So, listeners, start speaking today without fear. Accept mistakes, learn from them, and enjoy the process. Confidence grows with practice.
In the next part, we'll give you a quick speaking challenge to put everything into action immediately. All right, Julia, now it's time for a quick challenge for our listeners.
Yes, Jason, let's give them something simple but powerful. Listeners, I want you to repeat after us and speak aloud.
Great! First sentence, I like learning English. Say it with me. I like learning English.
Perfect. Now try this one. I speak English every day. Repeat. I speak English every day.
Awesome! See how simple that is? Just 2 sentences. But by speaking them out loud, you're training your brain and your mouth to use English naturally.
Exactly. Try saying these sentences 3 times today, then tomorrow add a new sentence. Little by little, you'll notice your confidence and fluency growing.
So, listeners, take action right now. Speak, repeat, and practice. That's how you stop studying and start speaking. Julia, before we wrap up, let's quickly recap what we talked about today.
Sure, Jason. First, we learned that speaking English is a skill, not just knowledge. Then we busted the myth that you need to study more before speaking.
We also discussed common mistakes, like translating word by word, trying to speak perfect sentences, and comparing yourself to fluent speakers. And the most important shift, thinking like a speaker, not just a student.
Yes, and we shared practical methods, speaking with what you already know, creating daily speaking habits, and practicing simple conversations every day.
Plus, we gave listeners a mini conversation to model English, tips to practice without fear, and even a quick speaking challenge to start right away.
The key message is simple. Stop overstudying and start speaking. Every small sentence, every short conversation moves you closer to fluency.
So, listeners, believe in yourself, practice consistently, and don't be afraid of mistakes. You can speak English confidently. Just start today. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. Julia, any final words for our listeners?
Yes, Jason. Listeners, remember, speaking English is about action, not perfection. Start small, speak daily, and enjoy the process.
If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And leave a comment below. Tell us what sentence you practiced today.
Also, hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next episode, where we'll share more tips to help you speak English naturally and confidently.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and remember, you have the power to improve every day.
See you next time. Bye.